an over or under the following game totals on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's start with tomorrow night. Let's start with Thirsty Thursday. Jets at the Colts. 46 points. Which way you leaning, Fowler?
I'm going under. I do look. The Jets put up their Super Bowl. That's what they did, right? They beat the Cincinnati team that was essentially crowned the best AFC team after their win. But this, come on, guys. This is not going to be even close. Indy is a much better defense from the start of the season to where they are now. Look, the Cincinnati Bengals defense was strong, but I have the Jets probably being 18 points or less. And if you're the Colts, you're going to hand the rock off to Jonathan Taylor a lot. Carson Wentz, he's been playing well, but we saw the old Carson Wentz, vintage Wentz, with a left-handed throw on his 3-yard line, losing that game because of that. So I have the Colts probably scoring close to 30 points. I do think they get back to it, and I just don't believe in the Jets right now because that was their Super Bowl. I think there's a little bit of hangover.
Jeff, you believe in the Jets enough to hammer the over here?
No, I do not. I don't think that's a hot take. I think this line is set really appropriately. I mean, I have also Reid. I mean, I think I'm calling for a 30-14 game, 31-14 game, which brings us, right around the game total of 46. But I don't want to rely on this Jets offense to get me a garbage time score late in the game to push me to the overside. I get it. Mike White played well. Corey Davis still banged up. If he was 100% healthy, I'd probably be a little bit more bullish in the spot because the Colts secondary, it's still not that good. You can definitely pass on the Colts, but do the Jets really have the personnel to take advantage of it? I don't think they do. I think the Colts probably play a little bit of ball control. They just try and secure the win. Like Reid said, they do everything they can to stop Carson Wentz from going full Carson Wentz. So, give me the under here.
All right, guys, let's head now to two teams. Whoa, hold on, Pearce. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart.
Holy cow.
I know. This is bad. What I was doing is I was actually preparing a tweet to promote this show. Now I hope no one watches the last 20 seconds of it. Pearce, what do you think for this one?
Okay, well, while I talk, you can do that tweet and just ignore me. I will take the under as well in this. The Colts' best run defense in football. This is week 9, so it's a real deal. And then if you're looking at the metric to say, oh, well, their pass defense is 20th in DVOA, well, that's just kind of a symptom of the way that they play. They don't mind giving you yards. They don't mind allowing you to throw the ball underneath. They just try to prevent touchdowns, although they've given up way too many passing touchdowns this season. I just don't see Mike White getting a lot of passing touchdowns. I could see him going underneath and moving the ball, but that's also going to work a lot of clock, and that's if it works. So, yes, their pass defense looks bad on paper, but that's what they want to do. They stop the run. They'll give you these dink passes. It's a bend but don't break type of defense. And like Reid mentioned, this is an overreaction to the Jets winning their Super Bowl last week. They got really lucky. They're not going to get lucky again.
Okay. Tweet has been sent, everybody. Now let's go to Vikings visiting Baltimore. A couple teams that wear purple here. Over or under 50 points. Pearce.
I believe both of the purple teams will score plenty of points. Lamar Jackson off the bye, coming off that beat down. We should see Jackson and the Ravens look like the 30-point per team or 30-point per game team that we saw before. Also, the Ravens defense, we've been saying this all season, it's not that good. There's this aura around them that people think, oh, Ravens defense, it's good. They were average at best last season. This season, they've been below average by many metrics. Some people will point, oh, but they shut out the Chargers. Well, how does that look now? How does that win over the Chargers really look in the rearview mirror? Ravens defense is not very good. The Vikings have a pretty decent pass defense, but this is a different type of pass that they have to stop. I think that Jackson and the Ravens will be able to move the ball, and they also are going to be able to easily run against the Vikings. So both teams should be able to move and score the points here. Give me the over.
Death, taxes, and Pierce just hating on the Chargers. Reid Fowler, over or under 50 points in this one?
Yeah, I expect Pierce to be called on first for each question moving forward in this segment. I appreciate that. I'm going over as well. The Vikings on the road are 5-0. So their defense does not travel well, right? They just don't travel well. The over is 7-2, and this is part of the trends article that Pierce alluded to a couple of weeks ago that's going to come out on Thursday under the Reid Fowler name on DK Nation. But look, all the trends point to it, right? And if you want to go under and say the Vikings have a middle of the pack run defense and maybe Lamar Jackson, these guys just run all over the yard. I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think if you're the Vikings, you've got to pass on this Ravens team. This Ravens team is strong against the run, not great against the pass, so I got the over.
All right, Jeff.
Like the over as well. So I guess we're all in agreement here, which is scary. But I do think that, 50 points is too low. I mean, we're talking about two good offenses here. We're talking about defense. I mean, look, the Vikings just allowed, Cooper Rush to sling it all over the field with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. The Ravens just allowed Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine to run all over them. These are not good defenses. We have quarterbacks and offenses here that are going to win out with like Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, I think all things considered 50. I'm actually surprised this one hasn't crept over it yet. I think you'll see it creep over even 51 by the end of the week. This is a good number to get on the over, though, still at flat 50.
Hey, two teams that wear red. This doesn't happen every week. Cardinals taking a trip to San Francisco. You got a total of 45 points. You want to go over or under that, Fowler?
Dang it. I can't wait for the last question lead in, but I'm going to go over. Kyler Murray is banged up, and this is why, right? This is a reaction. We talk about like how markets react to these things, and it's not it's a quarterback. It's Kyler Murray. It's one of the best in the NFL. But at 45, I think this is too low. Like if he's out, if he's banged up, then yeah, of course you're going to lean towards this. But this is two NFL teams, and the Cardinals, all but two games, guys, they've scored over 30 points. The last Thursday against the Green Bay Packers, they did not look well. The Packers put a lot of pressure on Kyler. So if the Niners can do that, which they're okay this season doing applying pressure to opposing quarterbacks, then yeah. But at the same time, I think all the trends that do point to the under, I'm going to buck those trends and look at the over here, and I think Kyler's going to be fine.
All right, Jeffrey, how about you, dude? Over or under?
It's a tough one to read for sure. I'm actually going to lean under here. I see a very similar game playing out to what Arizona played last week against Green Bay. This is a team who's really banged up. We saw when Kyler Murray was banged up and he didn't have his mobility last year, he was just a different player. I think San Francisco is going to come in here, dominate on the ground with Elijah Mitchell. I think they're going to take the air out of the ball in this game, much like Green Bay did last week. We saw the formula for beating the Cardinals last week. I mean, the Packers, I know that things got crazy at the end of that game, but like the Packers should have won that by 2 scores. I mean, there is a formula out there, and Arizona, they're not healthy. Like even with the extended rest, Hopkins banged up, Murray banged up. How are they? This explosive offense, I just don't think is going to be there. San Francisco has some momentum. They found their lead back. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. And I know this game total sounds small for an offense that's been explosive like Arizona, but I just do not trust that the points are going to be there. So I'm going to lean under.
Pierce, can't forget you here, man. What do you think? Cardinals in San Francisco.
Yeah, this is going to go over. The points have been there all season, and Kyler Murray hasn't been that mobile. I understand that these guys are banged up, but if they're able to suit up, then they're able to play. If they weren't able of catching the passes and running downfield and scoring touchdowns, they wouldn't be out there. They'll be able to score against this team, as Reid mentioned already. 30 points in 5 games, and the 2 times they missed, yeah, they had a bad game against the Packers. They missed against San Francisco, which might be some bit of a concern, but they played well in that game. In the second half, it was just a couple 3-and-outs, and then San Francisco just controlled the ball. So the bigger problem, the biggest reason why they didn't score points was because Arizona's defense let them down, which is welcome. We hope that the Arizona defense, if we're playing the over here, lets them down again and allows San Francisco to score points. That's the only concern I have is San Francisco going to be able to score against Arizona? Arizona's defense has had good games, and they've had bad games. It just depends who's going to show up. I really don't doubt this Cardinals offense whatsoever.
Now to a house divided. Meg Muffin's Buffalo Bills traveling south to face America's team. Latzia's losers, the Jacksonville Jaguars. This storied rivalry has a total of 49 points, most of which I'm sure will be scored by the Bills. Over or under, Jeff?
I mean, last week I picked the Bills in a similar spot to go over. The game played out, that the air was out of the ball a bit. Miami showed up for the first half. I don't think that's going to happen here. I'm going to go over 49 points. We have, again, it's not a division game for Buffalo this week. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars fresh off allowing 31 points to Geno Smith. There's really not much to say here. You've got a full-fledged, fully healthy Buffalo Bills offense. Probably just going to be passing the ball all game because that's what they do. They're 6th in pass attempts versus a Jaguars team who still ranks first in pace of play for some reason because they feel that the more plays they run, the better chance they have.
Yep.
Which is pretty much the complete opposite of the truth. So, I do think this one is going to hit the over. We'll probably need a little bit of garbage time points from the Jaguars, but once the Bills hit 40, that should happen. So, give me the over.
Okay, Pierce. Over this, obviously, yeah?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
And I think Geoff kind of mentioned it there right at the end real quickly and just passed over it. You need the Jaguars to score some garbage points. No one doubts that the Bills can score 30, maybe even 40 points, despite the fact they didn't do it last week. But again, as Geoff said, they just pass all game long. They don't have a run attack, so they can put up the points. They could get 40 points, and this thing is still too high for me. I don't see the Jaguars scoring. The Texans in the same situation put up a goose egg. The Dolphins earlier this year, a goose egg. We need the Jaguars to score points, and I just don't see it against this Bills defense. I just don't. I don't see the garbage points coming. I think the Bills will get there, but the Jags are not going to do their part.
Reid, do you see the Jaguars scoring enough points to take the over here?
I don't.
Okay.
I get what Geoff is mentioning too, and like these guys, these two teams, the over is 6-1 their last 7 meetings. Having said that, though, this is Urban Meyer against Brian Dabble against Sean McDermott. That's not even close. Like these two organizations and these two coaching staffs aren't even close. You had Carlos Hyde. Look, Geoff mentioned the pace of play towards the end, especially in the fourth quarter. These guys still run the ball. When they're down by 30 points, James Robinson, Carlos Hyde, Dario Ogunbowale, they're still getting the ball more times than not for God knows what reason, right? And again, I get it. The game is out of hand, so might as well try and get some of your schemes ready. But there's no chance. The Bills might score 40, and the Jags might score 3.